people are doing this weird thing where they feel as though it's up to them to make sure that everyone thinks and feels the same way about this exchange. To the point where, listen, when I make this content, I know for a fact, like people really will come and comment under these videos and try to bully me all day long, which is fine because I need better enemies. If you come up in my comment section talking crazy, I'm going to be right there. I'm right there with you. We'll get low vibrational together, and they barely ever want to comment back. I don't even saying nothing crazy, but I'm like, you comment over here some wild shit. Nah, I'm a responding kind. You can't treat people like that. When someone's trying to attack you, you got to realize when you're being attacked. That's nothing with men. A lot of men don't be realizing that person is attacking you. That person is trying to. When people, for example, when people try to hurt your feelings, whether it's overt or covert, when people try to hurt your feelings, that person is making an effort to, I don't know, how can I say, do damage to you in some kind of way. But either way, whatever it is, it's not to help you. All right. But anywho, let me read what else it says. Journalist says sources close to Drake says sources close to Drake's camp says Drake decided to go forward with a lawsuit alleging that UMG used money Drake made the label to inflate the popularity Not Like Us record in order to bury him amid renegotiation of his come on, man, amongst the current deal. God, dog, shit. Okay, here we go. I'm sorry, this is the first slide. My bad, y'all. Journalist Lauren LaRosa gives insight about lawsuit involving Drake and Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us record. Did some reaching out, trying to understand why would Drake file this lawsuit. A source close to Drake's camp tells me Drake's side decides to file this lawsuit not just because of Not Like Us song. It's bigger than just the song, which is why Drake's suing the label and not Kendrick directly. When I'm told Drake allegedly feels as though his label UMG is using money he made them to fund Kendrick Lamar's song, burying him amongst a sensitive label negotiation he's currently in. Drake feels like the label is allegedly not protecting a major asset, which is him, which is conveniently timed around the time he's in negotiations before a new deal with the label. When I'm told Drake is feeling like if it was Taylor Swift, a lot of things would not have happened in this whole Drake and Kendrick back and forth. So I ask y'all, if you were him and you're making these people a lot of money, pardon me, with these streams, how would you feel about the idea of them using the money that you've made against you? And it's conveniently when y'all are basically trying to figure some things out. And someone's going to have to come off some paper. Always following the money. Next, I'm gonna go to this drum with this lawyer. All right.
Kendrick from performing his banger Not Like Us at the Super Bowl next year? As us lawyers like to say, it depends. What does it depend on? If Drake were to file an injunction, he may be able to stop Kendrick from performing the song that way. However, he would have to get the court to agree and grant the injunction. But a lot of courts are reluctant on granting injunctions, especially that are related to defamation lawsuits, because they do not want to impede on our First Amendment rights, which is the right to free speech. Remember, this is not legal advice, okay? So take this with a grain of salt. This is not legal advice. Could Drake's potential lawsuits prevent Kendrick from performing his banger Not Like Us at the Super Bowl next year? Does Drake even have a potential defamation lawsuit? Is it a valid claim with merit? If it is true, the allegations, there is no case. That is a way that you will defeat a defamation lawsuit. But if there is no truth to it, who knows? It may be valid. Does Drake even have a potential defamation lawsuit? Is it a valid?
So this is the comment I want to read right here. Understand business. Drake is signed to UMG. Kendrick is signed to TDE, which is signed to Interscope, which is signed to UMG. The music industry has peaked as far as streaming goes, and Drake is at the tippy top of streaming. Drake has made billions for UMG, and Kendrick is an artist of UMG. What better way to push revenue than to use the profits that Drake produced to fuel Kendrick's diss song? Is good for business and good to stabilize the hip-hop economy. If I'm Drake, I'm a sue because you're not about to use the billions that I made you to turn me into a puppet and miss me negotiate a new contract. It's all about the money. So let's talk about why people on the comment section basically trying to basically saying so many words. Yo, you a bitch for that. Again, another concept, another expectation that's only put on black men. Of course, you know, there's certain behavior not tolerated in all groups, but the expectation of, again, like this, like shit-eating life, where everyone wants you to eat shit. Everyone wants you to tolerate disrespect, tolerate just not being mindful, not being demure. Nothing cutesy about that. The only thing about these seltzers that be having these special flavors and shit is that they get flat really quick. Oh, someone's left me a mean comment on Instagram. What the hell? What am I playing? I don't know what I don't know what's going on. Anyway, sorry guys. So let's get into why black people in particular do not like how Drake is going about this whole thing. You know what I mean? Because again, I just gave y'all one, right? I gotta figure out what to call this, but basically the argument that everyone's making is you a bitch for that. All right. This is about some serious business. There are billions of dollars involved. Billions with a B. Okay? If I use hundreds of dollars that you made someone else or made for me against you, you know what I'm saying? Like, fam, that's crazy. Like that shit would be like, I'm a car salesman and I be selling cars all the time. And listen, you know, now you know I'm feeling like I need a higher commission and whatnot, right? So in order to make sure that you know that I kind of come off that or avoid making a deal, what you do is like you know, start putting nails in my tires and whatnot. You know what I mean? Trying to give me germs, trying to get me sick. You know what I mean? And do that so that my productivity comes down. Then when I want to say, hey, can we talk about me getting a higher commission? You can be like, yo, you know, bro, you've been sick. You've been having germs. You got a lot of shit going on. We can't talk about the commission right now. And anyone who's ever had anything understands this makes all the sense in the world. No one's saying that people didn't like the record. No one's saying it wasn't playing it. But y'all also are not able to prove that that's not what happened. You don't have proof that it didn't happen. And let's go through it again. If there's a lot of money on the line, billions, what you feel as though they're going to play fair? No, they're going to do whatever they have to do to spend less money on this deal. And listen, that was funny as hell saying not if I was a white woman, but when he made or basically the whole reference to Taylor Swift. Why do y'all feel as though that white girl should be more protected than Drake? I even saw a comment when someone said Drake infiltrated the culture to make money. Infiltrating the culture, a lot of y'all favorite artists wouldn't be here or wouldn't be popping if it wasn't for Drake. The family tree is crazy. It's one thing if we're talking about like if it was like Diddy, right? Like when Diddy made music, you know, he is a part of like some of the greatest records ever. I ain't gonna hold you. But that would be an example of somebody kind of like just rapping to be rapping, you know what I mean? Or just getting involved to be getting involved. I never really thought about like him being insecure about like not being like talented with music in particular, and like why like he had the rap. I'm like, damn, I'm like, why did he feel like he had the rap? You know? But anywho, so the way you brought up, right, will keep you from buying into harmful mindsets that are imposed on you by other people because they want you to think a certain kind of way. Even from like Drake coming into hip hop in general, Drake never gave a fuck about what y'all thought because like from the beginning, people was always complaining about you sing too much, you this and you that, and getting mad at Drake for singing. And not everybody singing. Now all the rappers sing. Matter of fact, all the rappers actually. Most artists found out, oh, I actually can rap and sing. You know what I'm saying? And now you're hearing way more hybrid music, right? And not only that, what Drake did, again, that's one of the reasons why Drake, Cole, and Kendrick are the GOATs is because they pushed the culture forward. But the reason why, and they may be the last to do it, because the reason why you don't feel like it's happening now is because we don't have any young people who are really pushing the culture forward where people take them mad serious. Like people take Cole, Kendrick, and Drake super serious as far as music. And you know what's funny? Future made a comment the other day about like, damn, you know, when Kendrick said Big Three, like y'all just forgot all about me. And to a certain degree, he does have a point. Future may also be like in that conversation in terms of contribution. But I think that what always held Future back is him not putting enough effort into the bars and making sure and taking time. What I see going on a lot in music is that no one's really being really mindful about what's this about? What am I trying to make you feel? Because again, like for the most part, the way music is made now, I feel like to a certain degree, people are just kind of entering and using a lot of codes and moves and basically templates, following templates. No matter how creative you are, you're trying to follow a template. You're not really trying to create something new or create something that's like really unique. That's something that you have to be very mindful of. It can't happen again. Demure. All right. What else we had? I thought was really interesting. I think we had like one more thing. Oh yeah, here we go. This is the main thing I want to talk about. So let's break this down. So this is a quote from Joe Budden. So the quote goes, or he's a selfish, lying, manipulative sack of shit who has made enemies for 15 years, and now we're here at the fucking boiling point. Again, shout out to Joe. What people don't realize is that Joe understands the internet and he knows how to have an internet take in a way where people are going to talk about it. I had to realize a while back, and again, I could be wrong. He could mean all this shit 100%. But I realized a while back that he knows what to say. He knows how to speak on things in a way where it's going to echo. It's going to reverberate. It's going to be a part of them. People are going to want to talk about this, right? And I think that to a certain degree, what he's mastered is having takes on something that's going to be a take that you may not relate to, or maybe you haven't thought about, which is a really important skill when it comes to making content. Because the idea is always that I'm giving you something that you don't have, that you don't already have. So that, and that's when people want something, when they feel as though they don't already have it. Okay, so what he may be trying to say is that, and maybe he may mean it 100%, but saying it this way makes it way more provocative. So, let's look at it again. Or he's a selfish, lying, manipulative sack of shit who has made enemies for 15 years, and now we're here at the fucking boiling point. So we can't let those kind of conversations rot, because when people say stuff like this, they need to substantiate their claim. You say he's a lying sack of shit, or you're a sack. What did he do? Or what did he do to you in particular for you to express yourself so strongly? It's an important question. I mean, I don't know if I'm wrong. I don't know, but I think they Eskimo brothers. I think they bang one. I think they've been with the same chick before. But the way that Joe be acting with Drake, he really do be acting like, you know, they got that kind of history. I'm not sure. I could be wrong. But I mean, I don't think they do. But I'm like, but that's how he acts towards him, right? Which I don't realize is that artists, like rappers in particular, are like bad bitches. You know what I'm saying? Like artists, like rappers can be very self-centered. And in every rapper's mind, they are the best rapper alive, or they're elite in their mind. No rapper that takes their craft serious thinks they're whack, or thinks that they don't deserve to be in the top 5 conversation. That's kind of the mindset that you're supposed to have. So you got to realize Joe still comes from that. He still comes from an artist that has the desire to be in the top 5, top 10 conversation when it's about lyricists. And I do think that for one, people gotta make room for this shit too. Is that everyone kind of has a ceiling with stuff depending on who they are. Everyone has a ceiling, and what Joe accomplished, that just may have been his ceiling, right? And if you really think about it, at the time when Joe came out, that was in the early 2000s when rappers ain't had no long career, no long shelf life. That wasn't a thing, you know. And also he actually got caught up in a lot of like label stuff, you know what I mean, and just wound up kind of sitting on the sidelines for a minute because, you know, I think he had a deal with Rockefeller, and, you know, Rockefeller broke up, so that left him in limbo and so on and so forth. And eventually he kind of became indie, and but early on Joe was getting online. So Joe was one of the first people to like start like posting content, like viral content. It would be on World Star Hip Hop. He also had a channel, and he would just, you know, post videos and whatnot. And back then, I don't think I didn't know that you made money putting stuff on YouTube. You know what I mean? So they was always making. That's what's funny about the whole thing with the Joe Budden podcast. Like, never understood why they would talk like there's no money. I'm like, this, even back then, it was getting like 200,000 views on their videos, like hundreds of thousands. You know how much money? That's a lot of money, because that's potentially 100,000 watch hours. 100,000 watch hours would be like, let me see. Let's just say that you can make $100 from 1,000 watch hours, right? You know what I'm saying? So 100,000. So if I got 100,000 watch hours, do the math. I can't do it right now. I can't get to the calculator, but anywho, so keep in mind, like a rapper, like they look at their bars and they are like they babies, like they kids. If you say you don't like they raps, that's like saying that I think your son is ugly. You know what I mean? Like that's how it hits. You understand? So Drake and Joe, which was really kind of like Joe kind of, you know, just rapping by himself. So Joe was like dissing Drake back to back in 2016. And I mean, you know what, really, even then, I think Joe might have just been doing that because he understood the internet. So he had this whole conspiracy about Drake sneak dissing him, and now he's dissing Drake, and he actually got a lot of clout for it too, because it got a lot of views, but ultimately Drake never actually responded, right? So to a certain degree, you got to realize that from Joe's perspective, Drake ranks so much higher when it comes to like star power and impact on the game and whatnot. You feel me? And you got to realize that, like, yo, Joe wasn't rapping just to be rapping. When someone doesn't get as far as they feel as though they should have got, you're gonna have some feelings about that. You know what I mean? And like, yo, so a part of why I think Joe, and again, Joe is he always gives Drake his props, but at this time when it was the most crucial, he's been more in favor of Kendrick. You know what I mean? So for the most part, I've been seeing a lot of clips where Joe, in a lot of ways, it kind of seems like it's a good time to say stuff like this because no one's going to look at it as hate. Because right now it's the popular thing to kind of hate on Drake. So Drake says, imagine getting our validation from an ex-musician searching for recognition. Drake on stories about my brother. I guess this was a comment. It says at Joe Budden. It's from Drake last year. At Joe Budden, you have failed at music. You left it behind to do what you were doing in this clip because it's actually what pays your bills. For any artist watching this, just remember you are watching a failure give their opinion on his idea of a recipe for success. A quitter gives their opinion on how to achieve longevity. You switch careers because the things that pop into your brain had you broke, living check to check. And the raps you write have 450 men showing up to your shows in dusty and Nietzsche jeans and scrub their faces to Blue Music 29 and pretend that you are the GOAT. Please, to any artist that's doing what they feel is right, don't let these opinions affect your mindset after the fact. This guy is the poster child of frustration and surrendering. You retired and we never hung up your jersey because we don't remember your number. We know you for doing this. You withdrew from rap not because you accomplished everything you needed to. It's because you wasn't working for you. I'm sorry, it wasn't working for you. I never want anybody in the generations to think that the whole everybody's entitled to opinion is a real thing. This is a man projecting his own self-hate and the fact that I did it, continue to do everything he wanted to do for himself. If you needed to put in simpler terms, I own a 767. He owns a modest house in the 973 and flies first class on special occasions. And I know people don't. When I saw that, I think it was when Joe had a rough take on for the dogs. I ain't gonna lie. At that point, I was draked out. I've been draked out for a while now. I actually enjoyed. It was a timely album, but I enjoyed the 21 Savage album he did with him. You know what I mean? I like at this point, I like hearing Drake on like collab albums. I want him in future to be cool again, so that they can make an album again. You know what I mean? Or maybe we can still get that Wayne and Drake album. I mean, or the Drake and Kanye joint. I think that'd be a good time for that right now. Someone to help Kanye make sense. But when I first read that last year, to a certain degree, I felt like Drake was kind of out of pocket. And after I've lived a little more life, this is what I'm talking about with the whole expectation of you eating shit. People feel like if you're a black man, no matter what you accomplish, you need to take abuse like a thing that's not really alive. A thing that has no thoughts of its own, no will, no ambitions, no dreams, no desires of their own. When you don't acknowledge someone, you're not in that way, you're ignoring their humanity. The moment you ignore their humanity, you're going to try to kill them. because you're not going to think this is a person. This is a person. I can't say that, or I can't do that. It's going to hurt them. When you're not able to do that, you're not thinking about that. You understand? Right? So he made another important point about this whole everyone's entitled to their opinion is not a real thing. And and he's right and wrong about that. Everyone is entitled to having an opinion. But we have to also realize when that's an opinion and when you could be wrong about that opinion. At the end of the day, and this is why certain things you just can't acknowledge, because the moment you acknowledge it, you now become vulnerable to that person's response. You know what I'm saying? Because especially if the person don't agree with you, what do you do? It's like people who fight with me in the comment sections. I don't really think the Kendrick album is whack. I just wasn't. For one, I'm gonna listen to it differently now because y'all telling me that he's perfect. So now I'm gonna have him under more scrutiny. And I mean, also I'm an artist too. Like, yo, like I'm nice, bro. It's, you know what I'm saying? Like it take a lot to impress me. I just wasn't. And again, maybe it got to grow on me and whatnot. But I'm gonna try to listen to it again and whatnot. But I'm like, I'm hearing he dropping another album, so we'll see how that one goes. You feel me? But anyway, people be in my comments and whatnot. I also make these videos because I know it's going to get views, and also it's going to get engagement. So when people come to the comment section and they're engaging and whatnot, like, yo, you're insulting me because you don't like how I think. But if I don't care, nothing happens. Like I said, there's a lot of power in not giving a fuck. You will pay for it every time, but there is power of throwing caution to the wind. For example, let's say when it comes to violence, whoever is willing to make the threat of violence first and also follow through on it, whether or not you're the most tactical person or someone who's capable of being, physically dominant, there is power in that, especially if the other person is just not on that type of time or wasn't expecting that or wasn't looking for that kind of energy. You feel me? But anyway, going back to the whole thing with them being competitive, like I do think that it's a factor. And I think a lot of people really kind of just felt like, yo, because you got to think about how it feels to be Drake's peer. You know what I mean? And like understand like everyone, even Cole got help from Drake too. Them records helped him, bro. Like, can I hit it in the morning? Like that shit helped. That helped. Go to see freestyle, all that shit helped, man. So, basically, the reason why I said that we'll never see generational wealth if you can't understand what's going on with Drake and Kendrick is because, again, like we have to realize when something is bad for you. Your willingness to ignore what could be foul play, what could be something basically that would be an injustice to someone, especially when someone takes their work serious. Like, no, like why? Like, so if it was you wouldn't fight back? How do you tell someone else not to fight back? Basically, for the most part, people have been trying to put this in the perspective of, look at you suffer, look at you squirm, look at you deserve the worst. Like, nigga, Drake didn't do nothing to you. Or nothing to you personally. I mean, but anywho, please like, share, and subscribe, man. Hope you guys enjoy the show. You understand, we are out. I might do another show tonight and whatnot, but your boy is tired, and I'm about to be out this joint, man. Love y'all. Peace. Comment down below.